What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Shout out to the Dragon Riders. Shout out to the House of the Dragon. Here we are at $312.20 right now. Moving up on the day, about 1.3% up. What's Bitcoin up? It's up a little bit more. What's the BCH BTC pair doing? BCH BTC, isn't it? There we go. Let's look at the weekly RS, or the weekly time frame. Yeah, so we're coming off of our all-time lows. Yes, absolutely devastating all-time lows. We had an uptrend. It looked different, man. We really had something different, something special going on here, and I don't know what it is, man. Market circumstances, sentiment, the prophecy being a lie, whatever it is, we just didn't uphold it. But it is possible that this could be some kind of a double bottom still. Yes, it really could be. If we look back at this in a couple months or by the end of the year, and it's like you have this kind of pattern here, that's a double bottom, guys, right? Like did I not draw it low enough here? Let me draw it lower. Is that good enough? It still looks like a double bottom, right? It even looks kind of like this reverse bow pattern. I don't know what it's called. I call it the reverse bow because it almost looks like, right, like if this was a bow, you draw the M in here, you've got this. If it were to come up like this, it kind of looks like a bow, right? Like here'd be your arrow, shoots through like that. You pull it. Phew, I call it the reverse bow because the price goes in the opposite direction of where the arrow goes. I'm sure, and it's some kind of W pattern with an M in it. I'm sure that there's a name for this pattern. I just don't know what it is. I'm sure I'm not the first person to identify it, but I've seen it across the board. And whether or not this is a legitimate pattern right now or not, I don't know. But it is a double bottoming pattern. It's even a double topping pattern if we have a W or a M with a W in the middle of it like that. But I digress. I'm just saying I'm not scared of this. This doesn't discourage me at the moment. It's a little discouraging because we did for a long time think that was the low versus Bitcoin, but over the months, Bitcoin Cash and the rest of crypto have just not held up as well versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance has gone up a little bit here. From a low to a high, we did go just below the 1414, hit the 100 level, and now we're back below the 1272. What we need to do, ideally, is not go below the 1414. If we go below the 1414, we will see a 1618 extension, probably. Technically, if we go below the 1414, we could, as long as we're still holding above this low. Technically, it's fine. But I don't know how much lower Bitcoin Cash is going to go versus Bitcoin. I'm anticipating something like this makes sense. An 8% drop versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin itself from here might drop, what, like something on the lines of like 17%. So that would give Bitcoin Cash an overall drop that'd be more than 20%, right? Probably 25% or so, or just at the very least 20% or more. From the current price, a 20% drop would take us down below 300. It would take us down even below $250, and that shouldn't scare you, right? You should be prepared for that, because if that scares you, you might make the wrong decision and sell at the worst possible time, right? I very much do theorize that a lot of coins are going to take out their relative lows. They're going to find support at lower prices than we've seen in months, but still going to recover from here, right? And I think Bitcoin Cash, when it comes to recovery, is going to be rather miraculous. But we look at the weekly RSI, it's pretty damn weak. It is pretty weak. We look at overall, it's nice. Getting overbought and not getting oversold is nice, but just looking at this specific section right here, it is kind of weak. We're below the 40. We're living below the 40. We have been since like January, so that's not encouraging. On a 3-day time frame, we're living below the 50. We do have a bit of an inverse head and shoulders pattern here, right? You know exactly what that looks like. It looks like a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. There's nothing else that could be mistaken for. It's an inverse head and shoulders pattern, you guys. And in all fairness, we are holding support above the 40, which is nice. But do we continue? That's kind of the question. If we're ping-ponging in this area, it could be any moment that we drop, and I do think that we'll go lower. Let's see, on a daily time frame here, getting overbought and not getting oversold is a good look, and getting above the 40 is nice, but can we complete the thought and get above the 50? That's the question, right? The coming days will be very important for this. It's very possible. I want to say I'm the most uncertain now of these lows, of these lower prices, than I've been really over the past couple weeks. I'm still leaning toward that effect. It's not like a 50-50 thing. I'm definitely still bearish down to 70K, 74K for Bitcoin, and thus 20 to 25, 30% drop for the average altcoin as well. But that doesn't have to happen. If things go better than we expected them to, better than I expected them to, with this tariff event stuff, if it doesn't negatively impact the markets like we thought, CPI data comes out well, tax returns come out on April 15th, and beyond, there's going to be a lot of incentives and quantitative easing starts to take place. Interest rates come down, or at least quantitative tightening is lessened even more than it is, right? Maybe they actually will start easing. I don't know. There's rumors of that happening there, and then all kinds of things in the world, right? M2 money supply is going up. Everybody wants me to talk about the M2 money supply, but it's like, dude, I'm very well aware of it. I was probably aware of it before most people who've been recently aware of it. There's just this craze all of a sudden to talk about it, and I don't know, man. I'll probably make a video of it whenever I think it's relevant. But everybody's talking about it, and what have we done? We haven't moved up yet. We've moved down, and we've been sideways. If anything, I'll talk about it when it's relevant. But I've been aware of that since last cycle. So people in the comments saying that I don't even know about the empty money supply. You think you know about it, and you think that makes you special, but it doesn't. You know, it's like, like what have we done? It's been moving up. It's been sloping upwards for a little bit now. We haven't done anything yet, but we will in time. Don't get worried about that. But enough about that. All I'm trying to say, guys, is you should prepare for lower prices. Okay, you should definitely prepare for lower prices. There are a lot of bullish things on the in the near future that could be coming out, and it's completely possible. And the reason why I use the word prepare for lower prices and not expect right now is because I'm a little bit uncertain. There's a lot more uncertainty now than there has been over the past couple weeks that we're going to see these levels, and maybe we don't, and that would be preferred. Sure, if we move up, that's great. Bitcoin Cash is one of my largest bags. I would love it if it just moved up instead of moving down. But man, if it moves down, I am buying more Bitcoin Cash. I'm going to go heavy because, guys, I think this thing, I really do think, let's get to the good stuff here. I think we're going to see something miraculous, absolutely stupendous. And it's the same old song and dance we've been singing too, but we're going to use the Bitcoin chart and the Bitcoin Cash chart to kind of make sense out of this here, okay? So BCH here has been in a multi-cycle downtrend, right? Multi-cycle downtrend. It's also on its ribbon. It's very, very close. Not quite there, but very, very close to flipping the monthly ribbon bullish. All we have to do essentially is get above $350 on a monthly closing basis, maintain that level or higher, and we'll get a monthly cross. And I would bet anything that if we saw prices above this trend line, we would get the monthly cross. You would be doing two things effectively on a macro scale that are phenomenal to see, phenomenal aspects of any chart, which is a monthly bullish cross on your ribbon and breaking out of a multi-cycle 7-year long, 8-year long, or is it 7 years? Yeah, I think it is 7 years. 7-year long downtrend in the ascending structure. It's technically not a downtrend, right? It's just a consolidation phase, but a lifelong consolidation phase will be broken out of. A monthly ribbon, lifelong to the downside, will be flipped bullish for the first time in history. I do expect, as we've long expected, that this will result in a very bullish event, okay? You're coming down, you're finding support in these areas. You might go a little bit lower, and that's fine. But I wouldn't be surprised in the least if by the end of March, or by the end of April, I'm sorry, guys, by the end of April, we were back above $500 or more. We very well could be above this trend line by the end of April. And when it comes to May and June, I think we're going to see some miraculous growth. I really do. I think that we'll see something that's, either near last cycle's all-time highs, or last cycle's highs, I should say, or even as high as our current all-time highs are. We've seen two coins this cycle, at least that I can think of, XRP and XLM, that were in multi-cycle consolidation phases. Both of them, whenever they broke out of their multi-cycle consolidation phases, both of them went to their all-time highs. They didn't stop anywhere else. So the fact, and this is a really big deal, right? With the monthly cross, they didn't have the monthly cross coming into effect. They were bullishly charged already, but the monthly cross coming into effect and then breaking out of a multi-cycle consolidation phase, it could provide some very powerful stuff, you guys. I mean, moving up to your all-time high area, that's a 14x for Bitcoin Cash. And growth is nice, right? Even at a minimum, even if we go to the monthly high close, I say minimum, we don't know, but that'd be a $2,400 price. The real minimum, I guess, would be last cycle's all-time high area, something around $1,700. That's a 5x. I don't care what it is, man. If Bitcoin Cash is worth this price by the end of this breakout, let alone if it's worth its all-time high value, somewhere that's worth multiple thousands, $4,000 or around there by the end of this next move in May or June, people are going to start looking at it differently. There's going to be a race for Bitcoin Cash, I'm telling you, if this happens. Now, we still don't know, and we're waiting. We're waiting to see how this happens. If it breaks out and it's lackluster, if it breaks out, we get a double top here, and then we start to come down and we get back below this line, you guys, that would suck. Hey, we got to we got to be honest with ourselves and start rethinking things. If it's only at $1,000, it's exciting, but it's not that exciting. It might not put Bitcoin Cash on the map, but it still might make people think about it differently. There will be some structurally significant things that come along with that. The monthly ribbon will cross and everything, but I'm looking for something absolutely stupendous. And if something stupendous comes along, as great as it is to see growth in the price, what's going to be even more instrumental in the success of Bitcoin Cash is that belief, recognition will come into play for this crypto. It is better than Bitcoin is. It is better than BTC. And the way that I like to think of it, the way that I talk about it anytime that I do talk about Bitcoin Cash, is that the same people think about any time that you've tried to introduce somebody to Bitcoin and they fought back at it. They didn't like it. They thought you were dumb or it was a scam or any of that stuff. The only people that do that have a hard time wrapping their head around Bitcoin are the people who know nothing about it, are the people who know nothing about crypto at all. They don't like it, and it's not because they don't like it. It's because they've been told not to like it, right? It's a very common saying in this space. The only people who don't like Bitcoin are the people who know nothing about it. It's the same thing with Bitcoin Cash. The only people who think Bitcoin Cash is a scam, the only people who don't like Bitcoin Cash, the only people who say it's not the better Bitcoin are the people who genuinely know nothing about it. Or maybe they know something about it and they're just biased and they're lying. But generally speaking, they just don't know anything about it. People, whenever Bitcoin Cash does something miraculous like this, they'll be forced, whether they hate it or not, they'll be forced to look at it differently. Something's going on here. It's seeing more growth than Bitcoin. And not just people, not just everyday people, but countries around the world, institutions around the world, right? People are looking for the next Bitcoin, the next big play. What's another safe investment to add to our reserves, right? There's BTC, there's XRP, Solana, Ethereum, Cardano, all in the United States Reserve. Do you think that every single country in the world is now going to start adding those 5 currencies to their reserves? Probably not. Probably not. No, probably not. Maybe some exposure, maybe, but probably not. I would bet that the only ones that they're going to add are Bitcoin and Ethereum, maybe Solana, but likely what they're going to do, other countries, as they do, they're going to make their own strategic plays. They're going to look for a coin that they can acquire more of, that the United States doesn't hold the most of, right? The United States, Michael Saylor, they own more Bitcoin than any other entities do in the world combined, right? And that's United States. The United States houses a lot of Bitcoin as far as like actual Bitcoin goes. They might look elsewhere so that they have exposure to something that the United States doesn't have exposure to, something that might grow more. And Bitcoin Cash being the better Bitcoin, it's cheaper, it's faster, it's more effective, and it's also more innovative, a lot more innovative. It's a little bit more centralized, if we're being fair. It is a little bit more centralized, but other than that, it's better than Bitcoin in every single aspect. It literally is true to the white paper that Satoshi Nakamoto wrote. More so, a lot more so than BTC is at this point, right? BTC becoming a store of value is almost blasphemous, right? It was meant to be a peer-to-peer cash system, not a store of value. It's meant to be a peer-to-peer cash system, electronic cash system, and that's exactly what the mission statement of Bitcoin Cash is. And I think when people connect all these dots, let me put it this way. The Bitcoin cashers out there, the B cashers, right? The B trashers, the dragon riders of the world, we've connected these dots. We're the early adopters, right? Bitcoin, BTC, people could have connected those dots early on before the hard fork and everything, back whenever it started, but they didn't. There were people that connected the dots, but they didn't. What made people connect the dots? What made people look at this thing a little bit differently? It was the price going up, and it's kind of archaic, it's kind of dumb, but it is. It's the truth. Price goes up, makes people take interest. People take interest, they learn more about what they're taking interest in, right? And it won't just be the Bitcoin Cash community that's speaking about it. It will be people from outside the Bitcoin Cash community. You'll see maxis, BTC maxis, or other crypto maxis starting to look at Bitcoin Cash for what it is, and they're going to have the veil pulled out from over their eyes. And what it's going to take, as dumb as it might sound, is not hard work on the devs' part. It's not marketing and evangelizing it from people like Roger Ver or from me or from you. It's going to take price going up, and I'm heavily anticipating that this could cause some kind of a mass FOMO, man, a mass FOMO, because people might start to really see Bitcoin Cash for what we all see it to be. It's this time capsule where Bitcoin is now worth 87K. Bitcoin Cash is worth 312. Bitcoin itself, BTC, used to be worth $312. This thing has the same potential. All the fundamentals are the same, if not better. The one thing that I think is not better is that it is a little bit more centralized. Let's just be real. It is a little bit more centralized. There's more in the top 10 wallets from a central standpoint of the total overall circulating supply in BCH than there is in BTC. That's just how it is. But that doesn't mean that it has any less capabilities. Maybe some of these guys will sell out, maybe they won't. I don't know. We'll see how much of a negative effect that has. I don't think that a central point of authority should control any kind of currency, and that's kind of what the issue is with finance in the world. But I'm getting on a whole different topic that we're probably all well aware of. But all I'm trying to say here, you guys, is when this move happens, first off, I expect we will go down a little bit more. We'll see prices below 300, below 250, or around there at least. Maybe even as low as like 230. Okay. We'll start to move back up, and when we break out of this, if we see something stupendous happen, we go to the prior cycle highs or above. And I'm really much leaning toward this above side. We might see like a 9 or a 12 or a 13x for Bitcoin Cash. As crazy as that sounds, it genuinely, I think we have a strong possibility of that happening. If something like that happens, you guys, that's going to put Bitcoin Cash on the map. It will be looked at for what it is forevermore. It'll be looked at differently than how it's looked at now. And that's all it has to do. To prove itself, ultimately, it comes to price action. So we'll see if that happens. We'll see what goes on. But I've got a lot of faith in Bitcoin Cash. It is still my biggest bag. I haven't sold a lick of it. And if anything, I'm planning on buying more if and when we go below $300, okay? I've got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves and just sustain, right? Sustain. Because even at the worst case scenario, even if the miraculous pump that C-Zar is crazy and nobody else believes in but you, C-Zar, you're a nut job. You're just coping because you've been calling for a pump for a long time and it just hasn't happened. Well, guess what, man? When it does happen, I'm not going to rub it in anybody's face. I don't care. Maybe I am coping. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. It's a big part of my portfolio. Maybe I have some bias toward it. I don't know. But where was I freaking going with this, man? Oh yeah, if we don't see that, even if we don't get this let's call it the C-Zar cope pump, even if we don't get that, right? It's not. I'm just having fun here, man. You got to be able to laugh at yourself if you can. And we only get something that's at higher highs than this. That's not as great. That's not phenomenal. But I'll take it. We're still going to move up. We're still going to make money. I don't believe Bitcoin Cash is doing this, right? It did this last time. It did this time. It's not doing that this time. You can see it's different. Different behavior begets different results. We're very close to flipping this, and there's no doubt in my mind that we will see prices that are worth multiple thousands of dollars by the end of the cycle. But how high it goes, I think, really hinges. It's the same message that it's been for months now, for like half a year now. It hinges on how high this next move goes. How high the price goes by the end of the cycle, it depends on this. And if, you guys, by the end of May, by the end of June, we're up at these areas, you bet your sweet dragon asses that we are going to see a $20,000 price by the end of this cycle. It's still a possibility. It's not something that we're considering as a likelihood at this point. It's inappropriate to consider 20K as a likelihood. But if we see a move like this, if something like that happens, it's more than appropriate. That call, it's still a possibility. We accept it as a possibility. But at the moment, I think 13K, 5K, somewhere in that area is a more likely outcome. Just being real with myself, trying to be real with myself, right? It's possible even that we could see prices that are lower than that. But this next move will help us determine what the likely outcome is by the end of the cycle. Okay, I got nothing else for you for real. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Bye-bye.